Hello and welcome back everyone to the Quake World Championship European Qualifiers number 3. We are on the final European game of the day and it is down to prox1mo versus sl1p. We've had quite the adventure on matches. To be noted though guys, in a couple of hours time there will be the North American dual qualifiers as well, so do make sure to tune into that. But moving to the game.
The better side of the world. EU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's just
I didn't realize we were.
Opinion.
Are you talking Quake-wise, or are you getting kind of really horrifically political here?
We can go a long way.
No, I don't want.
But, yeah.
I want to get invited back. Okay, so let's be gentle. Yeah, definitely Europe's going to be bringing the pain, I think, to QuakeCon.
Beware,
one way.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, seriously, because it's getting hot in here. Also, actually, to note that some Australian players are going to be going to the BYOC in America. There are 4 of them. There's Python, there's Phrase,
How many?
There's Dander King, and who's now known as Astro Boy, and there's another as well.
How many BYOC spots are there? Is it 8?
So there's 8 BYOC spots in total, so they'll be hoping to get all. Hey, if you're assuming you're not going to get through next week's qualifier, that's fine with me.
But I can play this week.
Okay, well, okay, bring out the excuses already.
But we're here now.
Here and now, in the present moment.
2 players on either sides of Europe.
That's right. We've got sl1p representing Spain, and I believe prox1mo is playing from Kazakhstan at the moment, or something along those lines, whereas Flag is staying on ESL at the moment. We have got sl1p with the Nyx Visor Ranger, and we've got Blaskovitz, Scalebearer, and
Visor, I think.
And Visor over there for prox1mo. Fair enough. Do you have any immediate expectations? Could you tell us a bit more about sl1p, maybe? Because a lot of people probably won't remember it, and it's a name that I saw a lot more in the earlier periods of Quake Live. I don't know if it's someone you came across a lot in your escapades.
Again, yes, he was around predominantly in the earlier years. He was always in the scene, but not that active. And obviously he's come back recently and has been doing really well, actually, in Quake Champions, putting out some decent results and beating some decent players. So he's got a lot of potential. He's always around this kind of stage of the tournament, so it's just this next step he needs to take. Yeah, and prox1mo is definitely a formidable opponent, although I'm not really sure who I see being the better player in this instance. I do know that sl1p plays with Dreams and Magic team. It's essentially the Spanish national team for Quake Champions, and they were so close to qualifying for the regionals and sacrifice, but weren't quite able to make it. We will be starting, though, the first map of this final series right now between sl1p and prox1mo, starting with the Spaniard. Yep. So it's Nyx against Scalebearer. Interesting. For me, this is all about Scalebearer just pressuring Nyx, maintaining very good positions, but apparently that's not on his mind just yet. And sl1p just, I can't do it too soon. It slips away. No, sorry, that breaks my heart a little bit. Worse every time. Right, he's going to be trying to play for some of those hourglasses a little bit. If he's going to be thinking of engaging prox1mo anytime soon, you're always going to want to have that to use. And there we go. prox1mo, though, you can see he's got a pretty formidable amount of health and is sneaking on by. I like it. I like that because, as we mentioned before, getting caught out as a Scalebearer, whoa, now he's in trouble. That rocket was enormous. On the follow-up as well, would have had to be careful, but did have the Ghost Walk available. You can see he kind of just instinctively uses it after, even though he had already gotten the kill. The funny thing is, it might end up biting him in the behind if he's got 30 seconds without it. But this is nice play by sl1p. Again, showing a really great, solid, basic duel in controlling that rocket launcher. He doesn't want to double back on it. He's going to let prox1mo pick up the... oh, that was very close to getting the kill. There was small amounts of health points for prox1mo at that point. Yeah, and sl1p's not even really venturing over to that red armor. He doesn't need to. He's doing enough decent chip damage to prox1mo around the Mega that he doesn't want to risk it at this point in time. And with that champion advantage, he's just not forced to make a play. It's all about not getting caught off guard. Exactly. Scalebearer
up at the top level, but he's going to try and escape from that. This is a good opportunity for Slip to do some good damage. Will eventually use though that item. The rocket jump back. That will of course Slip off guard a little bit, and the LG. prox1mo making a play, catching Slip by surprise.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he was aware that Slip was hanging around. Obviously, he had no visual
Fair play
interpretation of that, but maybe he guessed it. Either way, it was a solid choice.
I mean, it was a win-win for him at the end of the day, in
Yes.
some respects. He either catches him by surprise, or he's repositioned himself to the higher ground where he'll get good vision going back to the armor anyway.
Yeah, you're completely
And
right.
I think Slip clearly just, maybe like a brain fart of some sort, just wasn't expecting that to even be a sort of a possible move in this chess game that is Quake.
No, he definitely thought prox1mo was going to charge through the lower ground to that heavy armor, and he just didn't do that.
That's why you never make assumptions.
Either way, it's a visor on visor, so Slip's got strong aim, and now he's got a tankier champion. Perhaps he can put that to better use.
Oh, prox1mo looking down maybe a little bit too soon. Good chance here for Slip to do some decent rocket damage. We've got 3 seconds till the armor's up, and prox1mo says, no thanks, I shan't be challenging that.
Yeah,
We're getting on out of here.
Keeping his ability in reserve a little bit too much.
He's dead.
He is dead, but I think he could have avoided that. There was a few times he lost track of Slip, and you just need to pop it. It's going to be up again soon enough. There's no real situation where you're in a dire need of having piercing sight.
Now with the BJ to go against, that was a good rocket, and dual wield's been used already, so Slip manages to force prox1mo on that ability.
Yep. Forced him back and just happy to trade then.
1 minute warning.
Is 1 minute to go, one champion all.
Oh my god, the damage, and he's going to go in for the fight. Surely it's time to commit. Got the LG below, but I don't think he will have the ability to use it. But it looks like he's playing it
very
carefully.
safe. Yeah. Perhaps too safe. He could have dropped down into the entrance and just tried to hit a rocket and escape, but fair play. First round of the game, just testing the waters. One gets one on the board, nice and safe.
It's the opposite. We've seen like some very backwards way of playing these first rounds. Some people choose to go completely aggressive and just kamikaze into the other player. Something happening, no one's really sure. And then other times it's from the beginning, they're building their confidence throughout the game.
Yeah, and that's it. Some people think, oh, this is the time I can really go aggressive and try my luck almost. But at the same time, people like me.
Oh no, that's
dead.
gone wrong. Getting pushed off. I don't know if he's jumped off, and a little bit of rocket damage helped push him away. But either way, Slip getting caught out on that edge.
But yeah, I much prefer trying to get one on the board, playing nice and safe for the first round, and then you can build it from there. You got a little bit of leeway. Either way, it cost Slip in the end.
And that's going to be oh, this could be very nice for prox1mo actually. Trying to force his way there quickly. There is no Ghost Walk as well to be worried about, but that nail gun damage, he could take so easily 100, 120 damage.
Yeah, perfect. Reading that actually. I'm sure a lot of players would have tried to chase through with a machine gun or something, but excellent. And
prox1mo is a player who, in Quake Live towards the end, was becoming one of the sort of top 4 people that you'd see all the time. But this damage that prox1mo is taking, he is going to try and bull rush away. That armor's going to be up shortly.
Yeah, I think Slip should have left the mega health and really pushed in, but again, Slip playing a slightly more defensive playstyle than we've seen other players today.
Whoa. Was there maybe a bit of lava touch there by...
Yeah, there was.
By Slip.
Unfortunate, because it does hurt Nex quite a lot, to be fair.
prox1mo. He's going to try and bank on the Mega. He's not really going to get it. He's going to try and bull rush away, but he's only got 37 health. The LG trying to chase him. 13 to go. Can he cut him off? The rocket just about lands. Clutched that at the last possible moment, and has now Slip to get himself on the board a bit.
Yep, and if you're new to Quake and you want an example of why timing items is so important, that was it. Slip fell onto that Mega the split second it spawned. Otherwise, prox1mo would have got it, and he got in the frag.
And that was a really interesting fight we had just before. Slip was trying to... Oh, I can see the climax of a frag over here. The armor's going up, but Slip cannot get away from that scenario. Beforehand, sl1p tried to do a Nyx attack going into Ghost Walk, but prox1mo obviously just getting Visor. He had the piercing sight and used it immediately. So sl1p was denied the opportunity for another frag and would have worked against any other champion as long as it wasn't Visor.
And he did get the Mega, but it's just not enough.
Crikey.
There is a chance he can go super aggressive before he gets any real health, and he tries, but it's just not quick enough.
There's so many health bubbles around here as well to collect, so prox1mo is going to be getting all of them. And it's going to be too late at the moment for sl1p to make something work, and that is going to be prox1mo clearing up his second round of the first map.
prox1mo playing very, very solid, doing everything right. I think sl1p just needs to be bolder with some of his decisions. He needs to take the next step. He knows prox1mo is low, and he's letting him get away, and he's letting him restack.
Yeah, this is could be troublesome for him, but again, first map, get your nerves out of the way. prox1mo moving in with the rockets, LG not looking too bad, and Bull Rush already been used.
At the end of the day, all it takes is one good rocket, and that Nyx is pretty much dead.
This is bad news, I think.
Yeah. Now, that's the type of play I want to see sl1p do more of. Getting back into prox1mo's face. In previous rounds, he might have let him get away.
Yeah, prox1mo though was maybe a bit careless as well, the amount of damage he took early on, and maybe thinking he was a bit too indestructible playing as Scale Bearer with a big stack.
Yeah, no, it's all about knowing your limits.
And sl1p though, he's going to try and get away now. I think he sees himself as having that frag advantage, and he's got no... He needed a second and a half left for him to use the Ghost Walk, and he could have just run away from the room, probably would have had an hourglass next to him and have been able to immediately use it.
Oh, no. Off the spawn. Even still...
Is he raging?
No.
Because he looked like he was just hopping into the wall.
It's because he had no other choice.
That was...
sl1p has left the match.
Yeah, I think...
sl1p is DC'd, I think.
Well, one frag away from losing that map, so I think we'll probably come back into this relatively soon. I'm
guessing that's internet and not, as you say, just rage.
That's possible because... yeah, sl1p, well, I'm sure I could see him just jumping and facing the same direction.
I
was
just
like,
got pushed into
this
the wall.
is unusual. The only times I'd see that is if someone is maybe lagging out a little bit, or if someone is just kind of looking away in anger.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, as we said right at the very start, these guys are playing from opposite ends of the walls. I don't know what server they're on.
Yeah.
I don't know who had the ping advantage. The fact that sl1p DC'd maybe means they're playing slightly more towards Kazakhstan or wherever they're playing.
I'm not sure. I couldn't even begin to speculate, but...
Either way, prox1mo was on course to take that round. It wasn't finished, but he was playing very well. And
that round would have been the map as well.
Exactly. It was
so we could get the whole instance where they decide to replay that particular... to replay the map just to get one round for prox1mo win and 3 for sl1p. But otherwise, sl1p could make a decision to go, let's go, let me pick the next map, because I think it was heading that direction anyway.
I mean, sl1p would have died in that situation anyway, leaving him with one final champion against prox1mo's 3.
Yeah, but I mean...
We'll see what happens.
Stuffed, I think it was. He was the technical term.
But I thought prox1mo looked solid.
Yeah.
Really good.
No, he looks good. The sl1p was making some all-right plays, but on the back of what you said...
I've seen him aim better again, which shows me he might be on a higher ping because a lot of his tracking seemed a bit off, and that might be why he is playing a bit more defensive, because he's not aiming as well. Yeah. Because as we said, there were situations where he should be pushing in, but he just either wasn't confident in his ability or was being super defensive because of the situation. Yeah. And prox1mo was capitalizing on that massively well. Completely, and I did just hear that sl1p's actually his PC crashed apparently. Just in the nick of time to maybe restart the round. Well, I'm not personally sure on what the rules are for that. No, so I don't. I'm just trolling anyway. We will get information on that in a moment. But speaking of Spanish players, Pony is one of the guys who is absolutely amazing and has a great history within Quake. But yeah, nowhere to be seen. I don't know. I mean, he used to be called Phoenix and he was called Pony. I know there's an association. I don't know if he now has a different name and he is in the scene, or if he's just got real life stuff going on. It's possible. How dare he? How dare he? I know that he had internet troubles quite a bit when he was playing in Quake Live, so maybe he feels that he's not uncovered that well enough. Or to be but some computer as a toaster, I don't know. The netcode, I mean, his hamster might have. But I mean, to be fair, the netcode in Quake Champions seems a lot better than it was in Quake Live. I've played on a higher ping before, and it didn't seem to affect me that much. So there are chances.
We had Astro Boy playing in the North American qualifiers on what, 240 ping or something like that.
He qualified to the Ro16.
Yeah, against Davis he played, and he's made it to it. Obviously, he means he had he qualified to the regionals.
Oh, he's in the regionals.
Yeah, so he gets to play that. So that's the weird thing, because they've announced him going to the BYOC.
But you can do.
But if he qualifies from the regionals, then he's just like, well, I'll just save my ticket for QuakeCon itself.
Yes.
Because he can just get straight through.
Going anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
mean, if he qualifies with 240 ping, then well done.
Yeah, exactly. Happy days. And that was amazing. That was Vu and I casting that match last weekend, and that was on our marathon stream.
If you're the opponent, that's quite demoralising. You just lost to someone with 240 ping.
Yeah, I don't think Davis was that happy. There was a bit of a drama online afterwards where they were trying to set up a match where I think one of the sort of managers of a team or organisation in Australia was obviously like really hyped and supporting his Australian buddies, as he absolutely should be.
Yeah.
But Davis was saying, I could have done that if I was playing on Australian servers. I've gotten the same result that he did on the American servers. And so they say, well, why don't we put some money up and see if you can beat him? I bet you won't win a single map. And it all got a little bit out of hand. Not naming any names or anything like that, but they think, you know what, let's settle down a little bit. We don't need this right now. So let's get to QuakeCon first, before we see what's going on.
So who's been your standout performer for today?
The first person that came to my mind, as you said that, was Break. I just thought that was
okay, apart from
a hilarious game.
Pummelsmeister himself.
Okay,
what was your favourite series?
To be honest, Kilson vs Chronic was really cool. Break versus Bus Driver was just quality for probably all the wrong reasons.
So Kilson vs Chronic was the first series of the day. So I don't know how many people were actually not tuned in for that. So that is definitely our tip of the day, is to watch that. That was just awesome. Yeah, Bus Driver versus Break, mind blowing in terms of, I don't know what they were doing half the time.
Yeah, it was absolute chaos. Biggest disappointment of the day, Hell.
Yes.
Sorry, Hell. I mean,
and
I hope you're watching so that you can be aware of our disappointment in you.
And a little bit Jox.
Yeah, Jox could have done a bit better.
I just felt he didn't put up much. I mean, it is strengths. It's one of the best players in the world. But if you're getting to this place, even though you're playing at strength, it just felt a little bit anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, I'm pretty sure 90% of the
After those games, you think there's so many things I could have done differently.
Yeah, and I think you would look back on that thinking, I changed this, I changed that, but it's one of those things that happen. Yeah.
I have heard that they are going to replay the map, and we are going to start not the whole map, but start with 2 rounds. In fact, you didn't let me finish my goddamn sentence, all right?
Sorry.
2 rounds in favour of prox1mo, and play things from there. So I guess how it goes, they'll just exit out the map if prox1mo does win that first round or something along those lines.
Okay.
I'm honestly, that Break game with Bus Driver, I'll be watching the replays of that later, because there's just I hope there's some kind of, I don't know, highlights on Reddit or something along those lines, because there was just the amount of moves that you expect to see on Reddit throughout an entire month. They all happened in one game.
I'm also disappointed we didn't see any professional slash action today.
Professional slash action. Well, Hal decided he didn't want to give us that.
And we haven't.
He was playing seriously and was still disappointing somehow. It was unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Hal. One day I'll drop that.
And we haven't seen any Galena.
Yeah, not a single. We usually expect a fair amount. Yeah, even you pick Galena.
I pick Galena.
And that says something.
And that's why I'm sitting
here. It's relatively... Galena is somewhat viable though, and if you're on a map like Blood Run or something along those lines, it can be quite good at using the totems to trap. But maybe, again, that's how quickly the meta in this game is changing around at the moment. There's like the sort of, it's not like the flavor of the month, it's the flavor of the day almost.
Yeah, again, it does have its weaknesses, and it's almost similar to Visor, just not as effective. And so I can see why it's falling off a little bit. The totems, as long as you're smart about playing around them, they don't really do anything except heal yourself. As they very rarely save you, whereas the piercing sight has a lot more value, and Visor's slightly tankier in general.
Do you think, so I always find that I feel comfortable playing champion where you have that escapability and that you have that kind of exit option.
Exactly, it doesn't have that maneuverability either that Ranger has, for instance.
Yeah. That's why I pick generally Nyx, Ranger, and Anarchy, because they've all got something that helps them get out of combat and a way into combat at the same time. And I think for me, the way I play, I'm able to at least, I can see the similarities between the champions, and it's easier to adapt my game around it.
Yeah.
Where if I start playing, I want a big one, a little one, and a medium one, and I feel like, okay, I've got to really like divide my mind, which works for some people, but I think it doesn't work for others.
Eventually, I definitely feel you need to be able to play all of the champions effectively. That way you can have massive versatility going into a match, and you won't just have standard comfort picks. There'll always be some that you prefer, but you can really mold it based on your opponent, and that gives you a big advantage. Yeah. Like we've seen Cypher, for instance, pick a whole range of champions. I think the only one I haven't seen him play is perhaps Anarchy, surprisingly. But that makes him totally unpredictable, and he can respond accordingly.
We've got a couple of replays just coming up on the map we've seen. We will be into the match again within the next 2 minutes. And this was actually a really good early frag that we had between them. prox1mo completely catching Slip off guard at that stage, and that's just not being aware of the kind of possibilities, the creativeness that you can have in the map itself. And of course we did get over to the third round, where prox1mo was very close to winning it, but it's got a tiny bit of hard work left to be done for him. Now, Dan.
Yes.
Looking at how you train in order to get really good at Quake, is there an optimal way in order to improve your play?
Go to the gym.
To improve
I think
Quake.
The most underutilized skill is actually looking at your own play. It's so self-explanatory to look back on your demos, and I know Quake doesn't have that built in at this point in time, but you can stream yourself or you can frap yourself. But looking at your own play is even more important than Quake Champions as it was in Quake Live. And then you can see what you're doing wrong, because at the time it's very difficult to discern all the time what went wrong. And only by looking at it and comparing it to the way others are playing, you can think, okay, well, why? Like, sometimes I look at myself playing and think, why on earth did I do that?
Yeah.
At the time it might make sense, but you're looking at thinking, this is where I'm going wrong, and then you can change.
Sometimes you do that straight after a game or straight after a round even. It's like, why did I make that move? That was on top 3 most stupid things I've done this year.
This is what we've seen today with the best.
But it's not enough really just to do that.
Yes, but with the better players we've seen with this round format, where they have thought, okay, this is where I'm going wrong. The players that aren't quite there yet, you see trying to play the same style time and time again, even if it's not succeeding. So it's all about thinking, what can I change, and putting in that legwork on your own, really. And, but at the end of the day, playing as much as you can will always make the biggest benefit. Yeah.
Just play Quake.
Just play
Moral of the story. That's it.
It depends. Like, think about what you want to work at. When I was growing up as a player, all I wanted to do was be a good aimer. So that's all I thought about doing, was analysing how to aim better. And that's probably why I suck.
How much detail can you go on aim though? Is it all config, and is it things like that?
It used to be all config, but no, a lot of it is about movement patterns. And I used to watch demos of like Tox back in the day, and players like that, and look at how they aimed and kind of modelled my movements upon that. I mean, there is a lot of detail you can go into if you want to think about it. So.
No, completely. To get to the scientific levels. We are now going into we're actually going into the second game, sorry, where prox1mo is 1-0 up on that one. Yeah. He's got an advantage. This would be the Slip that is going to be actually starting off, with that map select that is on Blood Run. So no problems at all. And it looked like actually whatever was finalized cleared up pretty quickly there. Yeah. And Prox, I think with the deserved win in the first map overall, he definitely looked like the sort of more powerful contender on that occasion.
Yes, and Blood Run allows Slip to play that defensive style more effectively. We did say this about Hell. He does need to be more proactive, and I think he will be more proactive in Hell, but it does allow him to sit back and chip away with rails, and if he wants to just hide completely, he can, a bit better than he can on Corrupted Keep. But still, I would love to see more proactive play from Slip, taking the game to prox1mo, because prox1mo's combat skills are good, but they're not world beating, and you can again capitalize on that in the right situation.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Slip's going to disappoint us much, at least not as much as Hell.
So much hate.
This is negative reinforcement, is what I call it. Anyway, guys, we're into the second map between Slip and prox1mo. And we're on Slip's point of view. He's got to start getting some wins in his bag. Otherwise, he's going to be going out in this qualifier, and prox1mo will be making it to the regionals.
Yeah, already pretty decent start, hitting a good rail. Micro-millimeters away from a second rail.
He's going to push down, actually going to find him, and there is the nail gun.
Yeah, prox1mo does not have a rocket launcher, so Slip's priority has to be to keep that away from him as best he can.
I find him a cheeky little rail shot though by Prox, keeping himself intact. And Slip trying to make some reads. Oh, finding another shot. So weak, and again, just millimeters. He's so close. It's like just drawing around him with the rail.
Yeah, we can see that Slip's rail is probably his preferred choice. But the big question here is Prox still doesn't have a rocket launcher.
The armor coming up in just a second. Is there going to be a gamble onto that item? I think what happened there, that was a ghost walk that was just used by prox1mo.
Yeah, you're right.
So that one's going to be gone. Slip's got 10 seconds until his is back up again. And actually, it is Prox's stack that looks ever so slightly better, but maybe still missing that rocket?
He's still missing the rocket, I believe. Slip could use this ghost walk effectively, but because his stack isn't that big, I wouldn't say he will.
Rocket's finally been found by Prox. We might see a bit of an aggressive move. Actually, no, I think prox1mo did just see that. And now he's being aggressive with it, trying to find a shot, not quite going to be able to find it. So interesting uses of Ghost Walk. Normally we see the people being very careful in terms of when they're going to use it, but they're quite open and liberal about it, trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, and against another Nyx, you can do that because...
Oh, Slip, find the rail. We're just getting exchanges between the two players, but prox1mo not able to dodge anymore.
Yeah, because your opponent is equally as squishy as you, it isn't like a massive risk.
Here comes the LG, a lot of damage on the visor. Slip, he's going to be getting his second frag, and already looking so much better on this map.
Yep, and that right there is one of the reasons why I would say those mid-level heroes are not as favoured, because the lack of maneuverability to get out of situations like that.
Rail only in favour of prox1mo at the moment. Slip can't feel too comfortable.
No,
he's not won the round yet.
He's playing exceptionally well.
Well, he actually went for it.
He didn't get it.
Slip, he still had his Ghost Walk up, so he's on 33 health, but who the hell can hit another rail? Machine gun coming out. Smart weapon choice, but he can't quite find him. And he went back to the railgun when the machine gun would have finished the job.
Oh,
Jesus.
No.
That was just a whole series of events that just went quite badly wrong for both players.
It was Monty Python of Quake Champions.
I think Slip might be the one who's slightly more grateful for that happening in such a way. The dire orb comes through, the LG prox1mo. He didn't get all the dire orb damage, but he did position himself in a way that could clean up a little bit and start bringing this first round a bit closer.
Yep, but Slip now on the Ranger, so a champion that he can go a bit more aggressive with since he has a bigger stack.
And prox1mo's got to be careful because he does not have any rail slugs. We'll pick up a few more. But it's only 5. So a limited amount. He's actually going straight in for this one. 78 health.
I like that.
That is clearing him out of the armor area and securing that item for himself very nicely. Yeah,
exactly what it is. It's just a zoning rocket jump, body on the line, but...
Oh, great rockets though. Dire orb to switch the positions up a bit. Oh, Slip almost earned himself a kill from that. But we are at 1-1 with just over... well, time doesn't even matter anymore because it can go on for eternity. It's all about who gets this next frag that determines the round winner.
But prox1mo's been using those rocket jumps to great effect.
Whoa. Rails. Oh, and Slip is going to be able to find it in the end. He had such an advantage earlier on in that. And eventually closes out, but not without making it close.
Slip's rail is on, and he needs to keep hitting these rails because prox1mo's combat, he's taking the game to Slip, so it is crucial that he doesn't miss any shots at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's definitely not all done and over at this stage. Let's see if prox1mo's got any more ammo left in him to return fire like he was performing in Corrupted Keep, because that was Very impressive from him. So just making sure he's got that extra amount of that rocket. That's not the Austin Powers bit where you've got the steamroller coming towards you slowly, and he just somehow wasn't able to get away from that shot. Great read there from Slip.
Big rocket, yeah.
And rail follow-up as well, almost finding another shot at the end. And if that wasn't a bit of stone in the way, that could have been a rocket to the chest at the same time. Both players stacked equally. Gonna counter each other at the same time. The follow-up on the damage. prox1mo's on about 3 health. Maybe less. And he's going to come back into this. Oh, if he went straight forward, he would have got the kill. Hello there. That is going to be another frag for Slip. Looking very good on Blood Run.
That was impressive.
It's a complete change that we're seeing from Slip. It's like he's a different person.
Yeah, I completely agree. He obviously knows this map like the back of his hand, and it plays again into his comfort zone, which is using that rail and then following up after he's hit 2 or 3 really good shots.
I think that's prox1mo just waiting around the corner, but Slip completely unaware until that moment. Mega's going to be up. prox1mo, he has got the balls to go in for the Mega, but he might regret that with the amount of damage he's taken. Slip does not want to use an aggressive Ghost Walk. Okay, literally, that wasn't aggressive. I feel happy that I wasn't cursed.
No, it was, again, securing the armor, which is fair enough. A good way to use it.
And I don't know if prox1mo was actually aware that he used it at all anyway.
No, he wasn't. So you have to, again, assume all the time that the opponent's got it up.
Wow. Why is prox1mo walking into these places, though? It's like he's got this level of confidence completely wrong. There's no justification for making some of these aggressive moves.
He got knocked out into the middle, but he shouldn't have really been down there.
I guess that first rocket must have done its job correctly, and that is going to be another frag.
That was clean.
Easy peasy.
Really clean. And as Slip, he should be feeling a lot better about the way that game's going now, because he seems to have found his rhythm.
Yeah, I'm almost not expecting prox1mo to even have a presence in the rest of this map anyway. It's been seeming so easy for the Spaniard. Dire Orb does come out.
That's a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. And Slip is going to be getting himself the rocket as well, so everything that he needs to take this forward.
He gave the rocket away a bit too easily, but never mind.
You might get surprised from the top. He couldn't quite see his fringe. Ranger was showing himself ever so briefly.
Nice. Oh, he swapped out.
He just kept swapping weapon. Just couldn't choose what he wanted to do damage with. Great shot. Can't quite find the next angle, but prox1mo is very weak, and this is surely go time.
Aggressive with the Ghost Walk.
That would be perfect timing for it. He's not gone for it. That's very, almost overly safe play.
It is, but he's 2 rounds up. prox1mo seems to go pretty aggressive by himself anyway.
He got those first frags so early. There's so much game left to play. Oh wow, he actually pushed through to that Dire Orb and almost had a chance for a rail. And he just wants to get out of here. That Ghost Walk being used does send alarm bells to him. Just wants to be safe. Armor up. And he's out securely. Nice. Great rail shot as well from Slip. Definitely making good things happen at the moment. And with that Ghost Walk up in a moment, this could be it. He might want to walk in for this. There it is. Might have been heard. I would be very worried if I was prox1mo, and he's just going to be following with the algae. There is the first frag of the 3rd round.
Excellent play. Just patience, and it paid off.
He maybe could have used the Ghost Walk earlier, but having secured it then, I think he'll be delighted with that. And prox1mo,
super aggressive.
I mean, it almost feels like I didn't pick this map. I want to play the map that I picked.
What is it? Slip's rail is really on point though, and it's incredibly annoying to play against a player when they're not missing virtually anything.
Slip does need to be a little bit careful still. This is, in some sense, far from over. But if prox1mo is walking into things, okay, this is a nice move actually. He knows exactly where Slip is, and it is going to react accordingly. And with items coming up right now, this is quite a big deal.
Yep. And Slip's been forced off that mix, which has been so successful.
Just the tribal? I mean, this is surely going to be one champion each. I don't really know why Slip went there.
I think a bit of cockiness. It's again one of those things from Quake Live. It's so ingrained that you must take the items.
Ooh.
And again, that would have been a relatively decent move in the old Quake, but not this version.
Oh wow, that attack just then from Slip. He lets it get close though. He gives away frags. That's what happened in the first round. That's what happened in this round. Second round was obviously a lot more comfortable for him. But prox1mo, yeah, he's not had a good map at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can see there that Slip's rail was just a lot more effective than prox1mo's.
There's a lot more mega control there. 15 megas for Slip to 6 for prox1mo. Map control in general just better. Twice as much damage for Slip as well. Almost 4,000 to about 2,000.
And his lightning gun was also very good. Whereas in the previous map it was lacking a bit. So it's just far more in Slip's comfort zone when he's got a rail in his hand and he can really base his movements around the shots he hits, and he's not being forced into those fights.
Yeah.
So there was sometimes over caution there, but at the end of the day, he's erring on the side of survival than just risk.
Right, you got a gun to your head and you got to place a bet.
Oh jeez.
Who are you going to put all your life belongings on, Slip or prox1mo?
prox1mo.
prox1mo. And why do you say that after just a crushing defeat we just saw?
It's his map, and I just feel it was Blood Run more than anything else that made Slip play that well.
I see. Okay. Apparently we've got a minute until we get to the next game, so at least I can say...
might be swapping servers.
That is a possibility. However, my thoughts is... I think prox1mo a little bit more, actually, to be honest, as well, just because I'm not copying, or I'm not,
Okay.
But he was so solid in Quake Live as well.
Yeah.
And I feel that he's got that more recent experience, whereas I think Slip is almost in a bit of a sort of hell way. It's still kind of coming back, maybe more recently than hell, he's still trying to come back to his original self and perform to a certain level. I think that prox1mo overall is a ever so slightly more impressive human being.
Impressive human being? That is a leap.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It really
I'm
depends.
sure you're wonderful, Slip.
The final two maps, I can see Slip doing well on them just because they both have the potential to really abuse that rail. I would prefer prox1mo to pick Ruins, just because I think Slip will be weaker on that map, but that is just purely speculation.
Yeah.
And I think prox1mo is also a good and classy human.
I think Blood Covenant and Ruins, they do share some similarities in terms, not like it's got the precise layout or anything like that, but in terms of the pace of the game, they share some, and you can see almost the end-to-ends of the maps on some instances, the rail angles and so on. I just feel that a similar
on the
pace.
Ruins, you can force those corridor fights and those more close combat situations down in the heavy armor in the corridors towards the mega, and you can keep away from the rail a lot if you play smart. Whereas on Blood Covenant, it is extremely hard. You're always feeling exposed because there are so many different routes and angles, as you say, and different levels that you can come from. The rail can be abused a lot more. Yeah.
No, but money's on prox1mo. I wonder what you guys as well have thought. Of course, you can tweet out to QWC and #Quake. Sorry, #QWC and #Quake and your thoughts. Of course, we're going to have the North American game starting in the next couple of hours on this very channel as well.
Any Australians?
Not as far as I know this week, but I could be.
So should we call it North America and Australian Cup from now on?
I think it's North American, and then it's kind of like in small brackets, understated.
Any Aussies that got the balls to play?
Yeah, essentially.
Cool.
But no, I'm glad that we got one through in the regionals already.
It's pretty cool, actually.
We got hopefully more to come through at the BYOC. What I think is really exciting though in all of these qualifiers that we've had already is the sacrifice side of it. I don't know how much you've been paying attention to it, but the EU regionals for sacrifice are going to be absolutely unreal. So I won't go into too much more detail, but I think it's something that you guys should really pay a lot of attention to, because the level at the moment is crazy high. sl1p prox1mo, they selected their champions, and we're moving it into Blood Covenant.
Same real mix of champions, nothing really changing, nothing at the box. Again, that shows to me neither of the players have fully embraced the new mechanics of Quake Champions. They're quite happy to play with the old tried and tested mechanics, but that's fine because they are all very, very effective champions.
Just to highlight, just heard actually that the North American stream is not in a couple of hours. It's actually going to start immediately after these games have ended and that we've tuned out. So make sure you hang in there, because you got games all day here from the Quake Champions stream. Yeah, so they'll get going pretty much instantaneously. But yeah, we'll push into Blood Covenant in just a second, where we will see the final match of the day for the European side. And also to take note, the fourth qualifiers next Thursday. Better be playing. I'm playing. You want to play me? I'll play you. Beat you.
I doubt that. I hope a ban mechanic is put in at any point in time, and then we can just see you plummet to the depths of matchmaking.
Definitely not. Okay, apparently sl1p is just... Oh, sorry, sl1p. So I just assumed sl1p, it's all your fault, sl1p. No, someone's disconnected, so we'll be into the game in a moment.
It's definitely sl1p.
It's sl1p. Is it just...
Spanish internet.
Just on that assumption, yes. But no, I'm seriously, I'm looking forward to the next qualifier. I've been having so much fun playing them.
I hope I can have time to play it.
You better make it. I don't know.
Well, what do you mean to do?
Get out of your ballet classes and just early.
Yeah.
Try and finish on time.
And if I get
out of your 2-2
bracket against you again, if I get seeded against you,
then I'll definitely win on this occasion. I learned everything I needed to in the last game. I've absorbed the knowledge and I've gained greater powers.
Is that how you work? You're like some sort of...
I eat the brains of my enemies.
You eat... Fair enough. That's a weird thing to do, but...
No, but honestly, I've been digging these tournaments so much because there has been so much that you play for, and there's such an interesting pipeline of events as well. It's a pressure that I've never had playing competitive gaming before. I've always been this kind of degenerate who's here shouting down a microphone.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. You just play now instead.
And now having the chance to... Hey, I'm having a moment here, okay? Give me a second. And honestly, if you guys haven't experienced it already, it's well worth it. And unfortunately, next week you don't have to play against someone like Cypher, so I don't have to worry about running him into a bracket.
In the qualifier,
yeah,
you're not going to be casting.
I'm going to be on Thursday in the qualifier. Yeah. What, are you trying to piece together some clues?
Well, I'm just kind of saying.
Okay. Well, I'm qualifying. I'm not. It's not. I'm gonna be trying to qualify. I'm qualifying. It's just a formality. I just have to be present, basically.
I would love to see you in the regionals.
I can make it.
I would love to see you in the regionals.
You know what?
Versus Cypher.
Easiest game of my life.
I doubt that.
I've had some close games versus him.
Just
at the beginning.
Throw it out there for everyone to know. I played Cypher.
Yeah.
I was good against Cypher.
Were you?
No.
What do you consider good?
I haven't played him in Quake Champions.
Oh really? Okay. I see.
But I haven't played as anyone here as much as I would have liked to. I've watched a fair amount, but I mean the game's super interesting from my point of view. So
you're inadvertently giving yourself excuses for why you might not qualify. I haven't played as much as I'd like to.
Yes, that's what you do when you're competitive. There's always a reason why you're not good enough.
And you have to make sure everybody knows this. More specifically, the opponent that you've just lost to on the server. You've got to tell them that there's sweat on my monitor.
You don't talk to the person you lose to.
Oh, okay.
You're too busy smashing up your setup.
But for me, I get to make excuses to absolutely everyone.
Because you're streaming while you play.
Streaming while I'm playing,
I actually admire that. That's tough.
Yeah, I find that I'm breaking barriers here.
You're not really breaking barriers, but it's still tough. Well, for one, my PC would melt if I did that.
Yeah.
It would literally melt. either way.
You gotta.
I mean, I'm as bad as Slip. That's how bad my setup is.
Hey, Slip could surprise us, but we both called him losing this one.
Yes, Blood Covenant. It is Blood Covenant though, so that changes my opinion. I was.
Is it because blood is in the name and he was really good at Blood Run that he might?
No,
he might be really good at this.
Because I just feel the map benefits his style.
Okay. I preferred that analysis instead. But
yeah, that was like the worst analysis we've heard all day.
I guess that's why you're here, is to sort of prevent these things from happening.
I can't talk for you, unfortunately.
Oh, I've got a note, actually.
It would be a one-man show.
Dolphins have names for each other.
You actually have made that note?
Yeah,
Why?
That's true.
Where did that come from?
I just thought if we had a bit of time to kill, that we can at least learn something today.
I'm so glad I'm casting this and not actually listening to this today.
I think we just had champion picks.
I think we're ready to play.
I was more
before we descend into full insanity.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned something.
It's been a long day, and Zoot is struggling. So I apologise.
Hey, we're doing all good here. We are going over to Blood Covenant in a way. Can tell the strain is getting to us. No, we're absolutely fine. I wonder who you guys at home are thinking is going to be winning this. A lot of you will probably be more familiar with prox1mo as he's been much more active on the recent cups, but I'm sure there's going to be some of the diehard old Quakers who are going to be, hey, I know Slip. I know he's been around the block.
Slip is...
Want to see him do well.
I think Slip's underappreciated as a player. He's very good. He does well against everybody he plays against. He just hasn't achieved those top seeds yet. So we'll see.
Yeah,
can he do it today?
I have another interesting point to note. Slip, his computer again messed up.
Again?
Something is horrifically wrong with this
so
human's
you mean
hardware setup.
We have to wait some
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back when Slip has somehow figured out how to, I don't know, connect cables to his computer, and we'll get that last match. So guys, do stick around. We'll be back in just a moment for the last game. Welcome back, everyone, to the Quake World Championships European Qualifiers. We are ready, I believe, for sl1p. And we say sl1p because it's him we have to be ready for. prox1mo is...
let's not be around the bush. We're waiting for Spanish internet.
And I believe they've sorted out their draft. We'll be jumping into the map in just a moment. And just to recap, they are both one map each against each other. So this is the final one, the last map for the European section of the third week of qualifiers, to see if it's going to be sl1p or prox1mo who will be breathing that sigh of relief.
And we have seen two rather one-sided maps.
Yeah, it's been slightly unusual. I'd say the first map was slightly less one-sided because there were at least 2 rounds where sl1p got 2 frags on each of them. But
there were a few instances in Blood Run where prox1mo could have pushed and got a frag and just got a little bit unlucky as well. So it wasn't entirely one-sided, but it was heavily sl1p and heavily prox1mo that took both maps. So Blood Covenant was prox1mo's pick.
Yeah.
And again, I'm assuming it's a comfort pick.
I mean, at this stage, you say, oh, you got players, you've got their picks, and it's going to be a clear advantage. I think after the sort of first pick, there's a finite amount of pool maps in the pool.
Yes, I know, and I'm not saying it's a clear advantage for anybody. My intuition would say I think sl1p uses these larger maps with the railgun better, but that's based off just watching Blood Run, which is clearly is by far a home favourite map.
Do you think if you're getting into Duel at the moment, is it really good to learn 1 or 2 maps really well, or is it better to just learn everything just as much?
It's difficult if you're just getting into Duel because you often don't have a choice. You get saying this is the 2 maps you have to play, so you get forced into variety, which is a good thing. When I started out, I just ground out campgrounds, so that Quake Covenant, Blood Covenant, and then I was forced to branch out. But I found I was always favourable to some maps, and that did limit my pool. So I would definitely recommend just playing a variety of maps and getting comfortable with a variety of styles. So that would be my advice.
Then you sometimes go against a player or two who have just been playing. I mean, the famous thing in Quake Live was that people who played Blood Run equivalent, well, ZTN,
there was
in there, and people would play only that. And you'd have these generally Russian players who would live and die by the playing Blood Run, and they would be so good at it.
But then you put them on any other map in the game, and it would be, they would just nowhere be anywhere near the same skill level.
So I wonder if you could sort of divide the time you put into one map just by 2, and to sort of like just be half or the majority of a map pool, and could you get some good successes from that?
Like if this format, for instance, completely eliminates anyone that wants to do that because you have to play every map. So it is definitely in your favour to be comfortable on every map. Yeah. But there are certain different styles of maps. Obviously, we have got a big map pool at the minute, but Blood Covenant, Blood Run, and Ruins all playing fairly similar dynamics. So we're just looking at the replays of our rather short but exciting Blood Run.
Yeah, just a quick replay of what we've been seeing as we get onto the server ourselves, onto this next game.
Predominantly sl1p with these highlights, but
and there are some decent moves right at the end there by sl1p as well. Yeah, I think we're just trying to sort out the server with... I'm guessing we're just going to blame sl1p again, but that's absolutely fine. Can we really sort of like get the pitchforks out and start a witch hunt against sl1p? Do you think that would be a mature and responsible thing to do?
I would expect that from somebody of you. I would not recommend it in any way, shape or form.
Oh, it's fine. I think we'll be alright.
In this casting relationship.
I'll get the mailman away from sl1p's postcode in that case.
But I mean, I don't know if it's just his personal issues or if they're actually literally trying to find a balanced server for the third game. I don't know which one it is because, as we mentioned, Kazakhstan and Spain, if anyone's that's good at geography, is quite a way away from each other.
Yeah, it's like almost as far as...
I don't like playing anyone outside
France and Belgium, no.
Ireland. That's my server.
I'd like to play someone in my village, my little hamlet, that's
because
it.
Because my UK internet is that bad that I don't want to do it, but...
Fortunately, as UK players, we don't have much to aspire to, so...
It's true, I mean, we have Garpy leading the way.
It's true, actually, and to be fair, he's done well. He qualified in the second qualifier.
He did, yeah.
And he did extremely well. I think when it comes to the UK in terms of the podium for the UK players, we're probably looking at him leading the way, in my opinion. With probably me a close second. I think other players are quite far away. Really.
I would just agree to shut you up.
Nothing more to add? I'll just assume you...
After the show.
Just...
I'll be talking to you.
And it looks like, guys, I think we are going to be moving now into the game between Slip versus prox1mo. We have gotten ourselves to Blood Covenant. I am on prox1mo's point of view at the moment.
And we have, again, a mirror matchup with just very standard comfort heroes, as we said before.
Comfort heroes.
Comfort
I like the sound of that. I prefer the sound of comfort champions.
I do as well.
And Nyx just showing his face at the top of the bounce pad. And careful your head. Does a punish. I was worried actually that he was just going to let that rail go for free, but does manage to get some damage in, and it's easy peasy right at the end for prox1mo to get that first rag. What was Slip doing?
I was about to say it's actually quite difficult after a long break. That was like 20 minutes or whatever it was to get back into your rhythm. So it could just be a bit of rust and just a lack of awareness of really where prox1mo was.
Oh dear, and Slip is don't make the puns. Messing up on his dire orbs a little bit, and he's just going down. These are just very easy frags. You'd wonder why Slip is just hanging around there. We might see another one at the moment. LG coming out, but that is going to be 3 champions down at the speed of light.
6 seconds, and they were all from Slip's mistakes.
Yeah. I don't...
Round begins.
There was just such obvious mistakes, though. Maybe he needs to get... He's in the wrong headspace at the moment, and because he can't surely have thought, oh, this could work. Because they were so far away from working.
Yeah, who knows what goes through some people's minds, but he needs to calm it down.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for Slip at this point. But again, it's the exact same start. Like,
that's deja vu, isn't it?
It really is.
Almost exactly. Apart from the frag happened there instead of here at the LG.
It was quite literally a replay.
He's going to spot him again, getting the rail out. And maybe, oh, wow, okay. Now, if Slip was already feeling bad, that's not going to make him feel any better. Armor has been taken, but it is going to be Visor.
I mean, prox1mo hasn't had to do much, but what he has done is, well, in the limited 2 minutes we've been playing, is keep Slip away from that railgun.
And prox1mo thinking that he could be aggressive and he could try and just finish the game straight away, but I think he's having some self-restraint a little bit.
Could go aggressive with the Ghost.
But there is the possibility of the piercing sight.
That is true. That is very true.
Would love to hit another rail, but he's not going to try and force it too much. He will back off and get himself the armor. Not without a little bit of delay, but not going to mean anything unless he fancies on getting the Mega first. Rather than just trying to hide that information from Slip. Great vertical rail as well. Yeah, Slip is really struggling on maintaining that stack. This is good.
This is going to be a kill, really.
Oh my god, the timing on that piercing sight. That was excellent from Slip.
Yeah, and as you said before, you just have that nagging feeling as a jeweler.
Oh, you might get the frag as well. Little bit of help down there from the blood pool. Wow, okay. That little bonus damage could have been very nice from prox1mo, but it's gone. Opportunity missed.
Very close.
How's he going to be able to escape from that? He's got the Ghost Walk up if he wants it. And he's leaving it very late to use it. I think he wants to just save it for another moment instead. Finally, not railable. Maybe able to move around the map a little bit.
Yeah, but at the same time, Slip's stack is pretty large now.
Piercing sight just got used, I believe.
That's good.
There we go, capped out his armor. Looking and feeling good. And Slip, he's got lots to play with. 1 rail hit, 2 rails hit. It's LG to come out. And because that piercing sight got used already, this is a good chance that he can get the frag. Does he want to drop down? Wow, he found another rail shot.
Did he mean to
What
go up?
on earth was that? Rocket going up the bounce pad, and Slip gets the frag, just injecting random plays in to add confusion.
Yeah, prox1mo obviously didn't expect that to happen. I don't even know Slip meant for it to happen, but whatever, it worked out highly fortunately for Slip.
and getting himself on the board, he'll feel a little bit better about that. And going up the bounce pad, prox1mo. I don't know if this aggression is justified, but prox1mo is going to be able to find the rail in the end, and that is going to be 2 rounds in his favor. He's 1 round away from qualifying to the regionals.
Yeah, it's just been, again, solid play, but sl1p is slightly giving away his
He's
life.
doing, I mean, compared to the first round, this is a million miles better. Oh, I like that from prox1mo.
Yes, I've not seen that. That's a good trick.
You can do it just off the wall as well, but I mean, he's just a little showboat there. And he still hasn't taken the armor, so he's eventually going to go and grab it.
I was about to say that rail was very good, but what it gives away is the fact that prox1mo hasn't got the armor yet, so sl1p should have an inkling that it's been delayed quite considerably.
I think prox is going to make a crack at getting onto the Mega himself. He's got position on it. Oh, dodges the rail and hits his own. Sink the nails further into the coffin right there. As sl1p is getting vastly outplayed right now.
Yeah, prox1mo, this is why he picked it. He's playing it very, very well. He knows all the nooks and crannies and the tricks. And we're seeing him delay items, which he hasn't really done on any other map quite yet.
Prox, though, forced to use that Ghost Walk. Spots him up at the top. A small delayed reaction just then. But with those hourglasses, he's almost got his Ghost Walk right up again. Can't quite find a rail to add that extra pressure, though. sl1p is actually going for this. He's all the way on the other side. He's used Ghost Walk. prox1mo has got the Ghost Walk himself.
Oh no.
The timing on that. This is bad news at the moment for sl1p, but he's retaliating quite well, and the rockets work. prox1mo maybe chokes a little bit in that.
Yeah, just missed his shots. sl1p, I mean, even though you don't know where your opponent is, you can hazard a very, very good guess. So it's always even risky for the invisible Nix to make that move.
There we go. sl1p managing to connect with the rail. Going to be important for him to hit the shot. What he's got to be concerned about is, has he given away too much in the early rounds of this map?
Yeah.
He's finally kind of got into the system a little bit and is thinking about the duel in a more correct way.
This is the first time really on this entire map he's been able to get the rail and slow the game down a little bit for prox. Without the rail, he looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah, those early frags he was giving away at the rail before was a little bit silly, and you don't want to have a weakness that big. Just going to find him in a moment. Good rail shot by prox. Top up of resources there from the Spaniard. And it might meet in just a second. Oh, he's used the weapon maybe a bit early.
Yeah, and he hasn't got the item either.
Nice, the damage, but the damage returned as well by prox1mo. Is he going to change weapon? He's not. The 12 HP Nix is going to be surviving, and sl1p might be looking good to secure his first round of this tie-breaking map.
Flick rail, really, really nice. Still has to be wary though, because prox does have a rail, as we see.
Oh, just missing that rocket, that pillar getting in the way, but prox1mo goes back up to the top. Is this a freebie? Ghost Walker's up, but it doesn't even seem to matter. sl1p is on the board, and it's not over yet.
Prox knew Ghost Walk wasn't up, and that's why he went in so aggressively, but he was super unfortunate to get knocked down, and after that, it was just suicide to go back up, but just a bit rushed.
Yeah, it's almost as if he wanted to just finish that one off and get back to focus.
What?
Okay. Hello, prox1mo.
That's one way to use that weapon.
He connected with absolutely everything that he needed to just then, and he's not even going for the rail early anymore.
I don't think he knows the nail gun jump trick, otherwise he would have done it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, yeah. There it is. All the weapons very early on. Does need a bit of armor himself, but he can just wait out here on this side. Can he hold on to it? Oh, armor's up in just a second. He's not able to get it. And this should mean that prox1mo is able to get over to the Mega as well. He's not attacking it directly, but okay. Eventually gets over to it.
Why? That was close.
Any bonus damage with Slip would help out quite a lot. And he's going to be very late over to this armor. Something taken by prox1mo rapidly. And he's going to try and hold steady on this Mega. prox1mo, he might try and make a move. He's going up the bounce pad. He's had forced to use the Ghost Walk. And I actually quite like that. Even though he disappeared into the middle of the pillar floor, he gets the Mega, retains most of the stack that he had. Ooh, 2 rails. Has he got the cojones though to stick around is the question.
No, I would not say so. Even though he hits 2, he also got hit by 1.
A bit of LG. Slip wants to aggressiveness, and it actually proved to be the exact right moment to do that. prox1mo just melted just then. It seemed a completely pointless exercise to get in front of the Slip then.
He just wanted to hit 1, but after that it was too late.
This should be a frag. Slip looking to tie up the rounds, and we are surely going to be going all the way in this. He can't find the last bit of damage. He's so weak. The splash.
No way, he got away.
Armor. Does he want to rocket jump up? How confident is he feeling at the moment?
Is this one of those situations where Slip could have pushed that tiny bit harder?
Oh, with damage like that, the rail just narrowly missed, and prox1mo has got nothing remaining, and the rocket lands! Are you absolutely kidding me? And he's going to be able to get the Mega health from this. Okay. prox1mo giving himself a chance. Slip would be very upset if this results in him losing out on this match, because he has made such a magnificent effort at trying to get through this. Right, I thought this round was kind of over and done with.
It should have been, but it is that slight hesitation. Yes, he was weak, but he had more than 100 health. He could have afforded to take in a direct and still get the kill.
Maybe kicking himself a little bit later. And prox1mo, after looking so weak beforehand, is finally stacked up again. I think he's just now isolated him, knows where he is. Goes in with the rocket. LG damage is good, and I think Prox is going to be going down. Slip, it looked like he may have made a round critical mistake, but he is going to hold it together, and we are going to get the final round here in this tiebreaker.
That was not the play by Prox, but again, it was kind of ushered on by time, so we'll have to let him on.
Yeah, for now. And Slip here to start us on the final round. He's going to get that Mega side of the map now. How standard does he want to play this? He's rushing over to the rail straight away.
Saw the delay as well, which is important.
Both players with the railgun. And this does make things a little bit... Ooh, rail miss. Didn't want to go in there. Worried about the rocket launcher. But remember, if you shoot the railgun and miss, you've got to reload before you can switch weapons, basically.
He has used his ghost. He could go very aggressive. Just doesn't want
One
to
rail.
the rail.
Mega's going to be up. Slip escaping. And a couple of seconds left for the armor. And prox1mo is not going to be able to make it there in time. Clean trade on items. And a quick hello said by them, but prox1mo, no armor at all. Someone give this man something on the map to help him out. He's waiting on it to spawn. Oh, he might have just seen it there. So just a frame or two before he turned away.
Crucial rails as well.
Oh, missing that one is on top of it. And now Slip gets railed. And all of a sudden, that's how quick the tides can turn. That armor's no longer up.
Yeah, with such lightweight here is one rail unreturned, it does change the momentum of the game.
He might have to use a Ghost Walk. There it is. There's a couple of items on this side that are up. He can take them. If he can get a rail clean, he can't get it. He needs to land one shot, and then all of a sudden it will balance everything out. Okay, one rail might kill each of them. Oh, in fact, Slip can afford to take one. So you can see why he had the confidence still to hang around a bit longer. Oh, my prox1mo, now it's gone back in favor of Slip. We're exchanging, I mean, I don't know if control's the right word, but whoever's got the current map dominance.
Yes, exactly.
This is a good way to end a series at the moment. 2 minutes into this.
We can see the importance of it weighing on them now. As we said, they have both slowed it down dramatically.
I mean, it looks as if Slip had forgotten about the importance at the beginning of the map, but he is properly, heart and mind, into this at the moment. Oh, that rocket does hit a little bit of damage, but did he receive a rail as well?
He did, yeah. So it just when that happens, it just halts you from pushing in for that kill. It's so important.
I feel like it's something we were touching on earlier. We're in this kind of routine stalemate where we need to see someone break that rhythm somehow, and that mega up at just the right moment. Whoa, my God, that was good. That was even close to just being a complete perforation as well. Big armor up. And prox1mo going to be able to escape from that one, but who's got the Ghost Walk remaining? The rockets come out. prox1mo comes out on top.
Yeah, and he's so healthy. In those situations, I mean, you just have to go with the rocket. The lightning gun is just not as effective as it used to be at this point.
Yeah, I think sl1p will regret that attack. It wasn't a certain enough event as well. Okay, prox1mo moving into this, but sl1p, he manages to get the Dire Orb.
On the
And it's now,
that's a hard task.
he gets the 1-1. Ranger versus Ranger, and a pretty strong stack for sl1p. He just turned away as soon as prox1mo came into view. He's very early on this item, but it's not going to serve as anything negative at all. He's just pushing in. He's showing he has got the guts. They both hit a rail, and sl1p's going to get out of there. I think prox1mo as well does not want to challenge in the fight at the moment.
1 minute. Next frag could be the decider.
Oh, that LG Dire Orb comes out. It's going to do a little bit of damage on the edge, actually.
This is what I mean. I mean, prox1mo is on 1 health, but sl1p just cannot afford to push in.
prox1mo stack. He might get spotted in a moment. I think he was just behind one of those little those railings up at the top of the entrance. 36 damage. prox1mo still barely alive, but you can see that sl1p doesn't have enough health to feel excited about going in.
sl1p could have waited half a second more and got over railable, but he didn't, and just paid off.
Prox still needs help. I think he just found a couple of 25s.
20 seconds. X-Frag will be the decider.
And now prox has got some more health. He's probably feeling like he's up for this sudden death. And despite not being at the 5-minute mark, it's the next frag that wins.
Yeah, I expect them just to trade. Nobody wants to take any risks right now.
I love this as a Ranger versus Ranger matchup as well. This is one of the most interesting champions for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And the amount of crazy things that can happen in terms of the positioning, the swapping of positions with the Dire Orb. And it could all end in sl1p gated through one's face.
Please.
Oh, you want that to happen now.
Just Dire Orb away.
He's always got to be wary of that, but there's going to be another rail shot from prox1mo landed.
That was,
in the end, it was equal damage.
Yeah, that was actually smart. I expected him to Dire Orb away, but he did it as a bait. Was able to hit a rail and get out, because sl1p had to look at it.
Oh, got to be careful. Dire Orb sent. A little bit of rocket damage. This one could be the end already. prox1mo, very, very weak. Going to find him with the LG. Surely going to be the kill. sl1p. He is going to be the champion of this match, and he's going to be going to the regionals for the European duel. Very close match at the end, and I gotta say, I thought he was out of the running. After the first 2 rounds,
yeah,
he looked like someone who'd had enough with life.
Yeah, but as we said right at the very start, once he got over that rather big blip, we saw his play style come into play, and he was able to use the rail so effectively, and his whole game was based around the rail. He hits his shots, and then he knows when to move in. If he's not hitting his shots, then he's, hey, okay, I'll keep back. So in the end, he was able to get over that atrocious start and come back to, was it all three rounds in a row? Yeah. Yeah, so...
No, remarkable from sl1p. He proved us both wrong. We both called prox1mo to win the last map, so if we did but all our worldy possessions, I'm pretty sure we'd both be in a pretty sticky spot. We'd both be pretty poor.
Very poor.
Yeah, definitely. Got a couple of replays here from the final map as well. We did have a little bit of drama as well with some of the Dire Orbs that were going on at the same time, I think in that last round on top of that.
Yeah.
And this was a great frag, actually. I loved that from prox1mo.
Yeah, prox1mo, the first few rounds did exceptionally well. sl1p kind of playing into his hands. This was the turning point. prox1mo just didn't hit enough.
That's actually true, and that was before Slip had won any rounds.
Exactly.
And you had expected that to carry the momentum and take him to the victory.
Slip, that round was so important. Obviously, that you couldn't get a better start than that. But that third round, prox1mo should have won it. He had Slip on the back foot again, and just was unable to finish it off. And then he was. I thought it was 4 minutes. It was actually 3 minutes. That move there was a bit of a brain lag.
It didn't make any sense at all. And that situation before where that nail gun killed him at the LG right off the spawn, that's, you just don't expect that much damage to happen. You can ask, well, why didn't he use Ghost Walk? So that much damage has happened to you that quickly. You don't expect the nail gun to hit you so much and Slip again with that critical frag.
So we can see Slip in the clutch moments doing what needs to be done, but it was slightly down to prox1mo not closing it out.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity.
Yeah, he definitely had the chance, but I think that's it. Nerves maybe went into play more on his side than it did on Slip, and I regret saying a couple of things I said about Slip maybe not being warmed up into that competitive environment. He seemed to outplay prox1mo, who'd been very active recently.
Yeah, and I was actually impressed. I think the better players will work Slip out, but he's got a very, very solid foundation, and he can work on it to improve. And yeah, I think it's he should be good going into the region.
And well, all the people who have made it through the qualifiers today, they've completed the first leg of this journey to QuakeCon, going through to the regionals, which will be at the beginning of next month. Of course, there is still one final chance, if you're in Europe, for you to qualify to the dual regionals to get to QuakeCon for that $1 million prize pool. And that's going to happen next Thursday evening. You're looking at around 6 p.m. at Central European Summer Time, maybe 5 p.m. UK time. I believe those are the timings for it, so make sure you're playing that. And ZSX and I will hopefully both be playing. And we can tell you guys up. Playing, winning. I mean, they're synonymous for me.
We're winners.
What we've got coming straight after is the North American dual qualifiers round of 16 for their third qualifier. And so basically from our end, stream's going to go down very briefly, and then it'll be live again with more Quake games happening pretty much straight away. So make sure you stay tuned in for some more Quake action there. But otherwise, it's been amazing, at least from my end, being a part of this whole Quake World Championship commentary, production, the tournament in itself. I'm really glad to have been here. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for, well, I'll thank myself for putting up for you, but I guess thank you for having me as well.
I don't know why I was expecting anything nice to happen
fine,
there.
You know, that's my affection. Really.
But anyway, massive congrats to the players that qualified today, and GG's all around. Definitely some good highlights to look back on from today's games. Anyway, we are going to be tuning out. So thanks guys for watching. Enjoy the North American games, and we will see you guys soon.